Let's just press the record button. Well, good evening, everybody. It's the Thursday night workshop. And as you know, I'm here with my great co-host, Mr. Armando Jorge. How are you tonight, Mr. Armando?
Always great, my friend. Always great. Who wouldn't be, right? Who wouldn't be with this, with all that is going on? And it's amazing for both of us, and so many of others are living these moments. So this is really exciting for all of us, and especially for all the Mizes. But even for not Mizes, what is happening in the crypto world? Many changes, many things are coming, and it's great to belong to this space, right?
It is the best time right now. As we know, financial institutions are changing the money system. I think everything is going digital, and we are in the right place at the right time with the right company, and we are getting information first, and we're getting educated, and Mize Network is here to support us on our growth and what is the future to come. So as you know, everybody, Mondays and Wednesdays, 7 p.m. London time, myself and Armando are talking about the products, but you are going to be so happy to know next week onwards, I'm sure we are going to be discussing the new website, which I believe is launching in what, 26 hours from now? Is that
yeah. Yes, it is. It is. The big day is coming. So yes, 26 hours, more or less.
We've been waiting so patiently for this, and finally the day has come. So for those of you who have recently joined, congratulations. Tomorrow is the big launch date. For the rest of us that have been supporting for 6 to 7 months, finally, everybody, it's here. You're going to see the website. You're going to see new products. You're going to see what's happening for the future. And obviously, the products that are coming are tailored to what 2019 is going to bring. So let me just give a little shout out to everybody watching on live. Good evening, Carlo, Clay Morrison. Hello, Armando. Kaleem is here. Welcome. And for the 12 people that are coming in, welcome. So tonight, everybody, it's kind of my favorite night, Thursday nights, is because Mize has sponsors that give us a workshop and give us the information that we need to prepare us for the future of cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, and security tokens, and what the world is thinking about, especially when organizations, institutions are thinking about regulation. So everybody should get the information. If you are watching on Mize Live TV on Facebook, please go ahead and click the share button, because Mize is going to be here for a long time. That is why we are particular in how we do our workshops. We're methodical in the way that we do our products, why we give education and certificates for everybody. So let the whole world know Mize is here. We're staying for the long term. This is not a company that's going to be around for 3 months and disappear. This is built for generations. Isn't that right, Armando?
Absolutely. And it's not just by saying. It's if you look closer, if you realize and understood what Mize is doing, you can see that this is not just for 3 months or 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, because develop the things that Mize is developing, and the range of products that during the time will keep adding. So that will give the power, and that will be the energy needed to stay for a long time running the business. So we're going to be around for many years.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And as you know, when Bitcoin first came out in like 2009, blockchain technology was unleashed to the world. We did not have the information. We did not have this education, and we missed out. We also missed out on developing companies like Facebook, like Google, like eBay, like Amazon. And, we did not have that information. So that is our excuse, right? But now as we prepare for 2019 all the way up to 2020, as cryptocurrencies is one of the biggest trends of the world right now, we don't use the excuse we didn't have the information or education, because Mize Network is providing it. Now it's our choice what we want to do with that information. So without further ado, I'm going to see if the presentation is ready. Just let me know if you can see it, Armando.
Yes, it's coming. Yes, it is. Now it's on.
So welcome everybody. This workshop is dedicated to cryptocurrencies and blockchain. All right, so quickly for everybody that's new, and we have to keep repeating this because, as you know, and what we say often is there is only about 1% of the entire population that even knows what cryptocurrencies are and what they're used for, when it was established, and what the future holds. So cryptocurrencies are digital coins which were created to facilitate financial transactions in the global marketplace and used advanced encryption methods for security and stealth. They are decentralized, they're new, they're digital assets, that is currencies not controlled by any government or institution. Its main features are the speed of delivery, it's secure, and it's anonymous. And this is all possible thanks to a technology which is known as the blockchain. Now, the way to create, how do we create these cryptocurrencies? That is through the process called mining. So what is Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is the main virtual currency which is not regulated by any financial authority. Its operation is determined by a complex code that cannot be changed. The transfer of Bitcoins occurs between digital portfolios and networks installed on your phones, on your computers, networks from which it can receive or send coins. Now, I hope some of you have been using Bitcoin over kind of the last year, and you have seen how easy it is to transfer from one point to another, how fast it is, how anonymous it is, and how secure it is. Bitcoin transactions receive a layer of encryption which makes it impossible to intercept them. So the transaction is completed with the work of the miners who use the network to validate the delivery of coins. When validated, the transaction is included in the blockchain or a large ledger open to everyone. As we like to say, it is open source. When you send transactions, everybody is able to see. Now, all the transfers are indeed public, but only the amounts and numbers of the portfolios involved are exposed, which means finally, you don't have to give all of your information, protecting your data, because as you know, in the old banking system, or if you're using money transfers or intermediaries, you're going to have to give your name, your date of birth, where you live, and that's a lot of data that can be breached. Okay, with cryptocurrencies, that is all anonymous. The only things that you're going to see on the open ledger would be the amount and obviously where it is going to the address. Bitcoin's own system is in charge of generating new coins. As you know, Bitcoin, there'll only be 21 million in circulation, and I think right now we're around about 17.3 million that has been mined. But the last mining, everybody, will be around 2140. So this is just still the beginning. There is a huge opportunity right now to start earning Bitcoin, to start mining your Bitcoin for the future growth, because as you know, as there's less coins in circulation and there's a higher demand, the price is generally going to go up. So when you are actually mining, they're given to you as a reward to the miners who close the transactions. Bitcoins can be exchanged for other currencies such as dollars, euros, and pounds. And as you know, Mize Network is thinking about the future and is preparing us to A, start learning, getting educated about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. It is preparing you to start earning it daily. And you need a way to, if you have life bills, you need a way to transfer the cryptocurrency back in to a fiat currency. And we will talk about the exchange a little bit further on. Okay, Armando, what do you say about the blockchain?
Sorry, I wasn't muted. What I can say about the blockchain, I'm amazed with this technology. It's incredible that one day a person or a group of persons or an institution, nobody knows who they are, or if it is one single person, they call themselves as Satoshi Nakamoto, and they develop this programming so geniusly that so far nothing is so good as the blockchain. So in fact, blockchain acts just like a database. It's a logbook that guarantees the authenticity and integrity of a transaction based on the impossibility of any kind of change. You will explain to you further how this works, but in fact, this is the main feature. Blockchain, in fact, is a database when things can be registered, and once there, they are absolutely safe. And besides that, this was placed, when it was created, it was placed on internet freely. So nobody owns this. That's the beauty of the thing. So that's why the blockchain and the cryptocurrencies, they are decentralized. That's why they are not centralized. They are not owned by anybody else. So in fact, this belongs to all of us. It belongs to all the persons who have the knowledge and to have the will to learn about it and take benefit of this great technology that is the blockchain. But we'll keep adding more information.
The blockchain is going to absolutely disrupt everything. It's going to disrupt every industry out there. It's just such an amazing invention, shall we say, the authenticity of it, the integrity of it. It's going to disrupt our money system. It's going to disrupt how we store value. It's going to disrupt how we store our data. If you have any more questions about the blockchain, don't worry. Mize Network is going to bring you LearnChain, and it's also going to bring you Mize Academy, and you are going to learn a lot more about the blockchain. So keep posted, everybody. You're going to see over the coming weeks all the education that we keep bringing on these workshops. We're going to go much, much deeper into this subject. Armando, I love how you explained this last week. So this is your slide.
Yeah. So why bet on blockchain? Number one, transparency. You can have the preview of any transaction, as Lee explained it before. In fact, you can see all the transactions because they all are registered in the blockchain, and so all the transactions are there. They can be seen, but nobody knows who made that transaction. So in fact, it's a code that identifies both of intervenants, the subject A and subject B. So it's by a code. There is no names, there is no address, there is no phone number, just like in other institutions, right? And so transparency, it's one of the main features of the blockchain. Number two, and we mentioned already a few times, is decentralized. So there is no need for an intermediary body to approve the transaction or to determine certain contract regulations. In fact, that's why a company like Mize Network or any other can develop a coin, a token, and put it out in the market. So in fact, nobody owns this. So it's not regulated by a central institution to regulate all of this, all right? So the blockchain is free, is there in the internet, and it's absolutely decentralized. Number three, security. In fact, the database is immutable. In other words, it consists on a record that cannot be changed, revised, or tampered with, not even for those who operate the database. And we'll explain to you in a few slides ahead, we'll explain to you how this works. In fact, to change a thing, a single line on blockchain is so so difficult that there is not enough technology today so fast that could have changed something on the blockchain, and we'll explain you why. And so this is really one of the best things. That's why everyone, all institutions are being blockchainized, let's say this way. Banks, financial institutions, governments. I can tell you here in my country, in Portugal, we already have government institutions. They are already insert all the information inside the blockchain, because in fact, the blockchain is so secure that you can put all the information there. And that is the most transparent way for a government, for example, rule a country. When a country records, let's say this way, records all the operations of that country in a blockchain, that means that country is very serious, all right? Because in fact, it's secure, decentralized, and it's transparent. More, number 4, is confidence. Validating a transaction requires that other participants' computers enter into a consensus to enable this transaction to occur. So what this means, it means not if I send through my wallet, if I send, for example, a value in Bitcoin or in cryptocurrency to Lee, this transaction that I'm doing to Lee from my wallet to his wallet, it must be approved not by one single institution or person. So there is a huge community that validates this operation that we call, and it is the name that we call it, it is the miners. And as we all know, for example, Mize do this also with the mining through power nodes. In fact, these operations, these transactions, they have to be validated not for one single computer or one single machine or one single person, but for several. So there is a community, and that community, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of miners, and must be a consensus to approve that transaction. That's why he has all the confidence. And this takes us to the 5th point, that is automated. The software is designed so that there is no duplicity or conflicting information, so that transactions that do not comply with this rule are not registered within the blockchain. Exactly what I've been explaining you before. Because of this consensus, even if I'm a miner and there's some transaction that it doesn't follow by the rules, I can approve it. But then the rest of the community, the other ones that they have to approve that transaction also, if it doesn't follow with these rules, it won't pass. It won't go to the blockchain. So that transaction won't be validated. That's why for those who have experience, in exchanging through cryptocurrencies between wallets, you know that sometimes it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 confirmations for that transaction. It's exactly this. This transaction must go through all this community, all right, to validate that same transaction. Unless all of them are agreed that this is 100% legitimate, it won't go through, all right? So, in fact, think about this. Think a little bit about the blockchain, and I hope you understand the magnitude and the geniality that is in this programming. I love the blockchain. Don't you, Lee?
Yeah, I love it because I like the security part of it, and I like the confidence. I now know that if I'm sending some currency through a blockchain, I know it's secure and I know it's going one way, and I'm pretty sure and I'm confident that the receiver is gonna get it in a fairly timely manner with small fees. Now, if I use something like an intermediary like Western Union or PayPal, I know there could be a problem. Data could get corrupted. I don't know how long it's going to take. And sometimes money gets lost in the transaction. Same with banks. It's expensive. I have to do a lot of paperwork. I'm not so sure when it's going to get there. And all sorts of regulatory problems can happen and be intercepted on the way. But on the blockchain, once I've sent the transaction and it says sent, I can be pretty sure and secure and confident that it's going to be automated, it's decentralized, it's going, and the receiver will actually collect it. And everybody can see the transaction. If I need proof, you can go on the blockchain with the transparency and take a look that I actually did that transaction. So definitely bet on the blockchain. If you want to stay in the old system and you want to pay all the fees and you want to trust intermediaries and banks, go ahead and stay in that system. But for me, I'm going to bet on the blockchain.
Right. And that's why you can cheat it.
All right.
All right. You want me to do this one?
Yeah, I'm going to come back in a second. I'm just having a little bit of audio. So just do this. I'm listening, but I'm just going to try and fix my audio.
Okay, good. So now let me explain to you why you can't cheat on Bitcoin or in any other cryptocurrencies. First of all, let's give you an example. Say that everybody is working on the block 91. When we say everybody, we're talking about the miners community, those ones who validate the transactions, all right? So everyone, and I told you before, they are a community of miners in the world are thousands and thousands. We're talking about not only thousands of persons or companies, but also inside those companies or although those persons, they have hundreds or thousands of machines running. So we're talking about many thousands of machines that all the time working on the blocks. So when I say everybody's working on block 91, I'm talking about all the miners community. All right. So point number 2, but one miner wants to alter a transaction in the block 74, for example. That is on the image, that is that red dot in these blocks, right? So all the information in the blockchain is inserted by blocks. So the blocks has a volume, a capacity of insert data, all right? Once it's complete, another block is generated and it keeps adding blocks all the time. So it's unlimited. The number of blocks that can be inserted inside the blockchain. And so one of the guys, one of the miners, or even a group of them wants to change something. And let's say they want to change the block number 74, all right? So what they had to do, they had to make these changes and redo all the computations for the blocks from the 74th to the 90 and do the block 91 himself. That is 18 blocks of expensive computing, right? So can you imagine how much data is inserted by the second on the blockchain by the thousands of miners working? There is a lot of gigas of information by the second inserted on the blockchain. So imagine to change this. So there is there is no company or there is no enough programming to do this in such a speed to change all of that. Why? Because of the point number 4. What's worse, he had to do it all before everybody else in the community of miners in the Bitcoin network finished just one single block, the 91st, that they are working on. So imagine someone wants to change a block. It can be done. Yes, mathematically, and let's say by the chances, yes, you cannot say it's impossible, but I can tell you it's impossible to do it. It's not impossible to happen. Maybe in 1,000 years, someone will figure out the machine and the program so fast that could run one single institution could run so fast as much as all the thousands of miners around the world operating on the blocks. So in fact, I hope you understand the security and the transparency and the confidence and all those 5 points that I mentioned before. Really, it's important for you to understand. And for those who say, oh, that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, oh, that's not money, that's not safe, it's much safe to put my money, my fiat currencies on the bank. It's not. I can tell you, definitely, once you get to understand how these things work, you will change your mind about that. And you will realize that this is fair, this is honest, this is absolutely correct, secure, and transparent. Okay? Now we're getting to the point, to the STOs. Let me just ask you, Lee, did you add that new slide that we talk about? No.
No, but it is in the Mize Facebook group. It's a wonderful, powerful slide.
Yes.
But I think we'll add it next time because it talks about the Wild Wild West of 2016 ICOs and why it led us up to the STO.
Yes, it is. So I was just asking because we have found a slide, someone shared it on Facebook, and it explains very well the difference between a utility token, the ones that have been created so far, and the STO, the security token. That explains very well, very simply, the difference between one and the other. And so, what is an STO? It is the acronym for Security Token Offering, a form of digital collection of resources without risk of fraud. The security tokens is backed by a tangible and marketable assets, such as profits or shares of a company, which gives ownership to its holder. In addition, the STO must necessarily be approved by regulators. All right, let's explain what I just read it. For you to understand the difference, let's talk about what happened before. Before, we have so many tokens were created during all these 10 years since the blockchain appears on the internet. And so this past October, it was 10 years ago. So what happened is, it was as long as you have the knowledge and as long as you know how to operate with the blockchain, you can create a token. And to create a token, all you need was knowledge, a machine, a program to do it, and you need a good idea. So you have to justify the creation of that token, justified just for the market, all right? So you put it all your intention, what is composing, what is the intention, what is the purpose of that token. You should put it on a text that it's an official, let's say, document that certifies that token, that is the blue white paper. And so as long as you have the ability to create a white paper to explain what is the purpose of that token, and as you have the knowledge and the ability and the programming to create that token, you can put out a token. You just create it, you put it out in the market, and you put it out to sell. So what happened is so many people around the world, companies and individuals, they create tokens with a good intention, with a good story on the white paper. We're going to save the whales, we're going to save the planet, we're going to save the trees, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, just by writing a white paper. And based on that, people would buy those tokens, all right? So for the last 3 years, let's say this way, there was a boom of a kind of a token that we call it ICOs, initial coin offering. And so what happened is these ICOs, they were created by companies or people, and they put it out in the market, and people invested in this because they believe it in the white paper that it's going to be something that it will grow so fast and you will get a lot of money, a lot of profit with that. So people buy these tokens by the hundreds of thousands, all right, individually. So because some of those coins, those tokens could have cost you 1 cent of a dollar, for example. So in fact, there was a lot of people spending a lot of money buying these icons. After all this time, and especially the last 3 years, this was a boom with the ICOs. And then all the people that spend a lot of money buying these ICOs, they realize that in fact, most of them, they have nothing to support that same investment. So it was just a good idea, in fact. And some of them, in fact, they were good ideas. And some of them, in fact, they get over it and they realize and they accomplish their goals and they are still there in the market. We have many examples of successful tokens in the markets, right? But many of them didn't go through. And we're talking about, I don't know, maybe 80, 90%, maybe more, they didn't go through. And so for so many people that spends savings, that spends so much money buying these ICOs, in fact, they didn't get rewarded. They didn't get nothing, right? So when the cryptocurrency wants to get a step ahead and try to go into the financial world said, no way, we don't have security. We don't have security. This is not regulated. We're not going to invest in ICOs or tokens. They are not regulated because the financial world, they need regulation. They want the things, this comes from here, goes from there, blah, 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 blah. And so, in fact, there was a struggle for the financial world to get in to the crypto space and to the cryptocurrency. And so by that need, and because the market was, I can say this, the market was being scammed with the ICOs, most of them. I say more than 90% of the tokens that were available in the last years were scams, right? So the financial world could never integrate it, accept the crypto space without having a security. So for the last month, someone came with this idea to create these security tokens. And when somebody came, the community that came with this idea of this kind of token, the financial world start to look to the crypto space in a different way. And they say, oh, wait on, this is different. This is something that is back asset. So there is a value, a guaranteed value behind that token. And to make this real, what happens is, if the other ones, the utility tokens, not the STOs, they don't need any regulation, nothing to approve them to go to the market, these ones they do. So in fact, there is now certain regulators. Most of them are in China, Japan, Singapore, London, Switzerland, and United States, and I think in Canada. So there is already commissions of regulators that when someone wants to create an STO, a security token, a back asset token, must present the white paper and the proofs of that value, all right? And those regulators will look to that value and say, okay, this value, it could be anything. It could be shares from a major company, it could be gold, it could be oil, it could be precious stones, it could be trees, it could be anything, all right? As long as they have the proof that, okay, this value exists, is proven, okay, the token can be released and put out to sell in the markets. So in fact, this is what the world, all the world needed to embrace the future that is the cryptocurrencies, all right? Because the blockchain is another story. The blockchain, everybody accepted, okay? I can tell you that governments, banks are already using the blockchain. The technology of the programming is one thing. The coins, because the coins are just a small fragment of the blockchain. The crypto coins are just a small fragment of all that programming, as we call it, the blockchain. And so, in fact, the institutions already get into the blockchain, but to the cryptocurrencies, they were afraid, but not anymore. Not anymore. With the STOs, when you got an offer, when someone presents to you, this is an STO, this is a security token, you can buy it. Because when you are buying the token, in fact, you are owning something. All right? You have a piece of something, whatever it is. All right? So, in fact, that's why I've been telling you and understand this and remind my words. In a few years, you will say, oh, once I listened to Armando Jorge from Portugal, a crazy guy that talks about the blockchain and the crypto. He told some words that, in fact, they are true. Everything, and remind this, everything in this world will be tokenized. Absolutely everything. There will be no more, because think about it. When you want to buy a corporated share, a share from the company, there is a lot of things to do. If you want to buy a share, that share must be regulated by the markets and then regulated by the banks and the institutions that will fill a piece of paper, and you have to go to the bank and sign and subscribe and to buy the title of a company, right? So that takes, imagine, for the financial world, that is a huge cost. There is a lot of registrations, there is papers, there is so many things, signatures, and goes from department to department, institution, from institution to be approved and then released to the market. So there is a lot of complexity that the blockchain and the STOs simplify all this. So imagine for you, if you listen to the news in the TV, you just listen, there is a major company in, let's say, Australia. For me, it's too far. It's far away. So let's say the big company in Australia, they promised that in the next years they will grow 60%, for example. And I want to buy shares of that company. It would be so complicated for me in Portugal, because I don't know if that shares will come to the markets in Portugal. So to the brokers in Portugal for me to buy it. So perhaps I have to move. I have to go to Australia to buy these shares, right? Imagine with the tokens, everything is simple. I just go to my wallet, I look for that token, specified token of that company, and I buy the shares of that company, sit down in my house, okay, by the fire, all right, very warm, because it's very cold in Portugal right now. I don't have to go out, and I buy the shares of that company. So imagine how simple this looks and how appealing it is to the financial institutions, to the big companies. So I can tell you, big companies, they will put, all of them will put it out STOs. And there it will be available for you to buy in wherever you are. As long as you have access to internet and access to an exchange, you will buy STOs from Coca-Cola, from McDonald's, from the big companies, because I'm telling you, every one of them will tokenize. That is true. Everything will be tokenized, and will be tokenized not with the utility tokens like we had before. They will be tokenized with STOs. And once you buy an STO, there is a back asset guarantee. When you buy an STO, one single token, that means that you have a piece of that thing that that token represents. It could be gold, it could be whatever, all right? But there's a value. Understand this, and this is, in fact, the future, and the company that we stand for, the company that we shout out the name so loud, it's for us, we are privileged because they are ahead of this. And I can tell you that the company that supports us, the company that we stand for, it's already, and you will know, this will be released, this will be public. We already are, in fact, creating STOs for big, I can tell you, high standard companies, the highest companies in some sectors. We ourselves, the company that supports this workshop, and the company that we stand for, me and Lee and so many others, it's developing STOs for big companies. And us, as members of Mize Network, we have access in first hand to these STOs. So from the STOs that the company is developing for other companies, because they came to us, they came to Mize Network to develop STOs for them based on the back asset they have, all right? And this company, Mize Network, is going to offer firstly to the members, and then after a certain time, it will go out to the general market. But for us, Mizers will have the opportunity to acquire these STOs at very special price for Mizers, and then these tokens, after a while, they will go to the markets for everybody else. But on the first time to get these STOs, you must be a Mizer, otherwise you can't get it. So for you to realize how powerful is the STOs and how powerful it is the company that is supporting this workshop, that is Mize Network, and I so proudly present and represent and work so much for them. Because in fact, I'm not working for them. I'm working for my future. I'm working for the future of my kids. I'm working for the future of all my generations that come after me. Because in fact, we are creating wealth, and the wealth that will stand forever, I can tell you. All right? So tell me to shut up, Lee. I'm talking too much. I get so emotional with this.
You know why I let you talk so much about this slide, because we have been telling the network this slide is, we're hinting to you, we're giving you pointers about this slide. Now, I know the companies that is coming, so I'm going to call it Company X. Just to wrap this slide up, you're telling me Company X is one of the largest in its field. It's going to offer me tokens at a price. I can obtain those tokens, which it's an established company already, so it's going to get even more capital for their expansion, and then over a time period that will go to the open market after the Mize Network. Once it goes to the open market, my tokens have a real value backed by whatever the company is. When it goes to the open market, a very, very high chance my token is worth way more than I purchased it for. That's the gist I'm getting here. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely right. So okay. In fact, what I'm telling you is that Mize Network will have these STOs exclusively for a certain time. It's exclusive for Mizers.
Well, I can tell you that if that's happening to us, that means we're pioneers. Then if you look around social media, you go to any news outlet, you are going to hear security tokens. If you want to know how the coin market capitalization is going to hit trillions of dollars, this is the slide we are talking about. Because at the moment, the money is kind of speculation money. The big investors, the big institutions, they're not going to come in, as Armando rightly said, until they have some confidence and shares in something. Now, when this is launched, and this is the new era, that's when you are going to see the $1 trillion market. So I ask you again, like Armando asks you every week, do you want to be in front of the curve, of the wave? And no excuses this time, because before we didn't have information. We did not have the education. But right now, we spent 15 minutes on this slide. That is an indication that this slide is very, very valuable to all of the Mize Network.
I just want to explain this before we go to mining. We mentioned this word a lot, even on the presentations of Mize and here in the workshop. We mentioned that there's a word we keep saying, that is tsunami, right? There is a tsunami coming. There is a tsunami coming. And I don't know if people realize what we mean with this when we say there is a cryptocurrency tsunami occurring. What is a tsunami? Let's figure out. A tsunami, it's an event, a natural event, that when it comes, what happens is, for example, if you live by the coast, what happens is the sea retracted for a long period and it goes back. So you can see, in fact, a new beach because the sea retracts behind, and once it comes so powerful. And unfortunately, we have seen so many of those cases in Asia and other countries of tsunamis invading land with such a power that they destroy absolutely on their way. But we're talking about water. So for you to understand, every time we mention there is a tsunami effect right now in the crypto world, that's what we mean. That's what we mean. So right now, the markets, if you see the Bitcoin is dropping right now, that's the tsunami effect. It's going low because it's retracting, and then it will come with all the power, and then nobody will stop this. It will be massive, and that will happen. The biggest effect of this tsunami, it's going to be 2019, 2020, and 21st. So for the next 3 years, this tsunami will change the world. I can tell you, in a good way, not like the real ones. So remind this every time you listen to me or Lee mention the word tsunami. Remember this. You are in it, but this is a good one. So take advantage of this. Take advantage of this retraction. Prepare yourself for the wave that is coming for at least the next 3 years. So embrace this one. This tsunami is the one that you should embrace this. I hope that we can express ourselves, and I hope I can put it out, everything I have in my mind, because in English it's not my natural language, of course, and sometimes I have difficulties to put it out. But I hope you understand by the words that I'm saying what I'm saying. So in fact, I love this world, and this is not me or Liu saying this. This is the biggest experts in the world saying tsunami effect, and we are living it right now. The retraction is happening already. It's not gonna come, it's already happening. This retraction, that means that it's going, the sea is retracting back, and it will come with such a power that everybody is going to be in it. And who's going to earn more? The persons with most knowledge, the persons most prepared, and the persons already holding these tokens, right? That's the tsunami effect. Sorry, Lee, I just want to explain this.
No, you're on a roll. When you're as enthusiastic, you see, I know what you know, and it's gonna be good in the next few weeks, over the next month, where we can finally, get it out of our system, because we're withholding. So I really appreciate your enthusiasm, and I want you to keep going, because I can't say the proof of work and proof of stake better than anybody than Armando Jorge.
No, you are so good, as you well said it. You know as much as me. But anyway, and you can express better in English because it's your natural language. But I will love to do it. Okay, what is the mining? So we've been talking about mining and all. So mining within the blockchain transactions are grouped into block shapes, as we already mentioned before. Mining is to find an valid block and want others to confirm it and to have a validation consensus, as I explained to you before. So in fact, there is a community of persons with a lot of hash power, with a lot of machines working, and what they do is they look for it, they look for a transaction, and then they validate that transaction, and they warn the others of the community, I found this transaction, please let's have a consensus of this, and the other ones will check, and that transaction is validated. So in fact, that's the same process. If you listened for this workshop since the beginning, we are giving you step by step everything, and now you understand what is mining, because we already mentioned so many points before. When a new valid block is found by the network, it gains a proof of work, a POW. So in fact, the miners, the miner that founds that transaction and ask for the consensus of other miners, and that validation is confirmed, the person who found it, the machine, the person who owns the machine that found that transaction is rewarded because he has a work done. So that is how the miners get money, is by doing this, all right? Because the blocks must be, all the transactions must be confirmed on the blockchain by the tramits that I've been explaining you before, all right? So in fact, what is the proof of work? It is a code composed and encrypted numbers that serves as a protocol which that transaction is valid. Once the block is created and validated by the network of miners, it will be added to the network blockchain. That's why we say blockchain is mentioned two words, the word block and the word chain. And the proof of stake, that means POS or POS, it's a protocol that certifies that those users own that information. So in fact, there are two kinds of miners, okay? They are the ones who look for the transactions and all that transaction, and then they send to the community to have consensus, all right, of that transaction, and that is the kind of miner that do proof of work. But then there is another kind of miners. That kind of miners that do the POW, the proof of stake, is the ones who hold that information. So it's the ones that, after confirmed by the others, that do the POW, that do the work, the proof of work, they are the ones who do a proof of stake. That is the ones who have the proof that that transaction is done, and they hold that information. That's why in those drawings there you can see a key and a safe, because he has the proof of stake. Besides that, there is another thing that is, for the proof of stake, you will need, for example, something that we'll talk about later. That is another opportunity. That is, I'm going to explain to you what is a masternode. That will be probably next week. I can explain to you what is, in detail, what is, for example, a masternode. In masternode, in fact, you must hold and stake a certain volume of coins, of a certain coin of cryptocurrency, and you have to stake that. You cannot trade them, you cannot sell. You can sell if you want to, but as long as you want to benefit from the proof of stake, you have to hold a certain volume of coins, right? And by having that, you have a proof of stake, because you are staking those coins. You can be a holder, let's call it this way. So you are doing proof of stake. So I did it, I explained it. So what the media say about this, the blockchain and the cryptocurrencies. For example, we have here two small examples. First of all, we have Forbes magazine. As you well know, it's one of the major biggest magazines in the world. Everybody knows, very credible, very reliable. So it's stressful to read when you read information in Forbes, that means it's real. And so they say here is in Spanish, but says that today's exit are the cryptocurrencies. In fact, it is. And if Forbes says, it's because there is, in fact, right now, a fever, because everybody is looking to the crypto space. On the side, we have here Juventus, that is the Italian team, very known, as we know, the best player in the world, soccer player, Cristiano Ronaldo, Portuguese one, my brother, my sister, my brother, my cousin, so it's my blood, and it's every Portuguese blood, and so he's playing that. And it says here that Juventus is it's blockchainized the club. So all the information they are programming, and they are inserting all the information about Juventus inside the blockchain, and they are creating their own token. That means that they are creating their own coin, crypto coin. They are creating, most probably, that information I don't have, but I can tell you that most certainly will be an STO. So in fact, Juventus, instead of putting out the club shares in the share market, in the stock market, they will put it a token, an STO, and it will be available all over the world through an exchange. So they are smart, and what Juventus is doing, I can tell you a lot of clubs and companies, Real Madrid is doing it too, and there will be more. Everything will be tokenized. Remember this, everything. So, Lee, do you want to talk about our great sponsors for this workshop?
Absolutely. So I hope everybody is really paying attention to the enthusiasm that you're hearing from Armando today, because this is super important stuff. If you are still looking at companies and just trying to get a fast buck, and you're just asking, how much is my ROI? You are missing the point of the workshops. You're missing the whole tsunami. You are missing everything. So how do we change that mindset? Well, we are going to do workshops, and we're going to give good, solid information and education to everybody. And we're really going to spend time on it. So to do that, though, we need sponsors, okay? We need sponsors to help us grow the community, the network. And as you can see on here, our sponsors of this great workshop is LearnChain. Now, LearnChain is a very vital product for the network, because you know everybody in 2009 that had this information, that had the education, lots of them made millions of dollars in this cryptocurrency and this marketplace, and it's just the beginning. So LearnChain, one of our sponsors, is going to give you the education, it's going to give you value, and it's going to prepare you for the 2019 to 2020. So really pay attention to our sponsors. Power Notes, as you all know, an amazing product. People are looking at Power Notes. They're hearing us. They're coming to our Mondays and Wednesdays, and they're looking at the results, but they're not getting the point of Power Notes. As you see there, it's a new mining standard, which all ties into what Armando just taught you about the proof of work, proof of stake. Put it together, and you have a unique product called Power Nodes. This is going to be very valuable in the future. Don't look at the results today, think about the future. And a very important sponsor, which, as you all know, I keep telling everybody to prepare themselves for the Zeronics exchange, a massive exchange, one of its kind. This is going to be a very powerful exchange in the future, because now it's all tying up together, isn't it? Now we're learning, hey, security tokens is the future. That is the tsunami that's coming. This is how we're going to get to $1 trillion market cap and above. We're all going to be using these security tokens. Everything is going to be tokenized. You can get hold of them. It's going to go out to the market. You are going to get an appreciation token. And where do you sell your tokens? And that is where Zeronic's exchange will come in. It's also very powerful because, as you know, using different exchanges like Coinbase and things like that, it's extremely difficult to load up money, transfer money, then go onto exchange and do some trading, then take it off, back to Coinbase, back to your bank. I can tell you Zeronic's, one of our partners, one of our sponsors, has made it so simple. You can actually do everything in the same place. Use 20 fiat currencies to load up, buy your cryptocurrencies, trade your cryptocurrencies, and withdraw your cryptocurrencies all in the same exchange. And also, I do believe that Zeronic's is going to give us the ability to even create our own tokens for the future. So these are the companies that sponsored this workshop, companies that invest in the knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is wealth. Knowledge is going to give you the research, and it's going to give you the tools to prepare yourself for the future. Because if you look back and you think about the old banking industry, has it served you well? Are we all ahead in life? Most of us are going to say no, because that is a currency that loses value. And here we are today, 2018, a new era of money, digital currencies that has a very bright future, that's going to have a coin that appreciates in value. And you know, this is why we're passionate about Thursdays. It's my favorite, because Mondays and Wednesdays is about our products. But the real value, the real wealth comes from these workshops. So we're proud of LearnChain and PowerNodes and Zeronic's. And as we grow our ecosystem, as we evolve with the technology, I'm sure we are going to see some other sponsors on that slide. So Armando.
Yes, my friend.
It's a really powerful workshop, and I really hope that people are listening. They're absorbing the information. They're taking all of your notes, all of the preparation, and they are seeing the point. If they're only looking at what the price of a cryptocurrency is today, or what the price of Bitcoin is today, and it's gone down, they're absolutely missing the point of what is happening globally on this transition of wealth. As we say all the time, this is the biggest transition of wealth in history that we've ever seen. And we're all so blessed. We're so all blessed to be in these times right now, to be able to adopt cryptocurrencies, transition when the rest of the world doesn't even know it's happening. And here you all are getting this information. And I do hope that you research, go ahead and look at some of the social media outlets, go and look at some of the very smartest people. And we're just echoing exactly what they're saying. What do you say, Armando?
Yes, I'm saying you are absolutely right. And I agree with you. This is, I love to do the webinars and presenting the products and the company that we love and stand for. But in fact, I love to do these workshops because I'm feeling that I'm contributing myself. I'm giving my contribute to knowledge for the future. Because those who don't understand this, they will be missed. They will be lost in this world in a few years. So why not learn now? Because it will be much easier. I can give you an example. For example, when in Europe we unified the currency for euro, and all of the countries in Europe, we have our own coins. And when we did this transaction from escudos, that was the Portuguese fiat currency, to euro, there was a confusion in people's minds because they didn't learn what's going to happen. They listened to, okay, we're going to have a unified coin, but people didn't prepare. They didn't care. And then there was a point that they had to use it, no matter how. So I take this example because this is what is going to happen to you if you don't embrace this, if you don't prepare yourself, if you don't get the knowledge. There will be a day that you will need, because institutions will start to use cryptocurrencies, and you will say, oh man, now what can I do? I don't understand this. So you have now the ability to learn in advance, to get in, to participate, to benefit. And as we say in Portuguese, I don't know if in English there is the same quote, but we say that lamp that goes ahead always light it up twice, because it gives more light, right? The one that is ahead. So when you are ahead, you got more chances to be better. That's the main thing. And once you get this information, once you get to learn, once you have, first you got the knowledge, first you learn what it is, and then you need a vehicle. You need something to put you in. What if you have the information but you don't have the ways to participate in this? Doesn't make any sense. It's just knowledge, nothing else. But with this workshop, we are giving you the knowledge, and on Mondays and Wednesdays we are offering you the vehicle for you to take action. Knowledge and action. That's what makes the world move, right? And you have now the chance to participate in this, to absorb all these trainings and all this knowledge, and then we can give you also the tools to take action and benefit profitably from this world and from this tsunami. Remember this world, right?
Absolutely. All right, so that's 7 minutes past the hour. I want to thank everybody that shared Mize Live, and everybody that's been watching, also our attendees tonight. Thank you very much. I want to say a special thank you to the people that were doing the events today, Sherry, and obviously there's a big event happening on Saturday with Coach Mustafa and Simon. So we're invited to that one. I'm extremely excited to see 300 to 400 people. This is real, everybody. That's why we are on social media almost 4 times a week. And soon you will see what we are talking about as the markets move. Make a decision, everybody. You want to take action after it's moved and say, now it's moving, I'm going to get involved? Or do you want to be the first adopters? We've seen it. History repeats itself. When MasterCard and the plastic cards came out, everybody went, ha! This is not money. This is not real. And look what happened. Look how many companies made billions of dollars on that transition. And we didn't know about it. Now you know about it. I hope you take it seriously. I hope you help other people come to these webinars and get the information. So from me, I'm done. I will see everybody on the Mize Live tomorrow. Special time tomorrow. I think we're going to see our CEO. Make sure everybody comes to that. It's going to be special. So from me, I want to say good night and thank you. And I'll let Armando close out.
Thank you, my friend. Yes, you said it all. Take advantage of this, and don't miss out this information. Don't lose the plane, because right now the airplane is 10 on the track. It's 10, it's stopped. The doors are open, waiting for you to get in. Once the plane is on the air, you cannot get in, right? So take advantage of this. Move in now, take action, learn and take action. That is the main key of this. And yes, let's not forget about tomorrow. Be attention to this. 9 p.m. London time. That is the same time as Lisbon. So I'll be next to him. I'll be next to Karina. I'll be next to Adrian Jacuzzi, the CEO of Mize, the owners of Mize, and Carlos will be online also. and it will be the big opening of our new platform in Mize Network. And besides that, we'll be celebrating the first anniversary of Mize Network. So fantastic first year, but now things are getting serious, and now things are going to happen from tomorrow. If everything was great, from tomorrow ahead, the future looks so bright. So everybody, thank you for being there. It was a pleasure for me, as always, doing this with you. Thank you for those who attend on Zoom, and for those who attend on the live Mize. And this will be broadcast tomorrow on Mize Live. Okay, so guys, thank you so much. Have a good night, a good day, whatever you want.
As usual, you were absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much. Good night, everybody. And look forward to seeing everybody 9 p.m. London time, Mize Live TV tomorrow. And let's get the news.
All right. See you guys. Yeah.